Hi guys, it's me again, and we are back on track here with our February swag. So we've gone with a St. Patty's Day theme for your February swag, and let's see what's in the swag bag this month. Okay, first up is the Opal Gem Crush, and I have been dying to use this in a swag. It is absolutely beautiful. It's crushed up opal gemstone, and we are going to do some embellishment work with it. Next, we've got Cypress Gel Polish. So this is a super polished color, and it's a nice deep green, but it was mislabeled. So this says no wipe on top. I'm not sure how many of your bottles say that, but if it does say that, it is not a no wipe top. It is, in fact, a beautiful green gel polish. Then we have our Art Deco, which is an embellishment adhesive. So this is a hybrid adhesive, so it's going to cure under your UV light for 30 to 60 seconds. And this is what we're going to use to apply our gem crush. And last we have our gold nail liner. So this is a shimmery gold. And this is going to just add some detail around our opal crush, and super easy to use, and these are 60-second cure. Okay, we're going to start just by swatching some tips, and we're going to start with the Cypress gel polish. Most of our gel polishes are pigmented enough for a one coat coverage. If you are not working with a 36 watt lamp or more wattage than that, or if it's not a newer lamp, you might want to do 2 thin coats. But I am working with a 48 watt lamp, so I am comfortable doing 1 coat and getting a full coverage on that one pass. Okay, so we've swatched all of our tips, and we'll start with the easiest nail. We did cure these all for 60 seconds, and I have not wiped any tacky layer off or anything like that. So we're going to start just by grabbing our gold striper, and to just get that kind of PC look that we had, first I'm just going to cover the cuticle area, and then I'm just going to use the striper brush and just pull down to kind of give it like that PC kind of like a spiky look. And once you're happy with that, we're going to put that in the lamp for 30 seconds will be a fine cure time because we still have to top coat this. For the next design, we're going to follow the same steps with the cuticle area and then pulling down to give it that spiky look. And then we're going to add some of the opal crushed stones. Okay, so this is out of the lamp, all cured. I am going to wipe off any tacky layer because once we put the Art Deco on and pour our stones on or our crushed opal, I don't want it to stick to the rest of the nail. So go ahead and wipe that tacky layer off. Okay, so we're going to grab our Art Deco, which is a thicker consistency, kind of a hybrid gel adhesive. And I'm just using the tube, squeezing out just a little bit, and using the tip of the tube to kind of spread it out where I want my opal crush to go. So now that we've got our Art Deco on, we're going to just scoop up some of the opal crush, and we're going to pour this. And I always try to keep that tray or something underneath just to catch anything that falls off. The opal crush is kind of an expensive product, so you don't want to waste anything. You want to catch everything that falls. And just give it a little tap just to get rid of anything that's not adhered to the gel. And then we'll get that out of the way. Okay, then I'm just going to take my finger and lightly press and make sure that any of these loose pieces of opal kind of get pressed into that Art Deco so they get secured in there. Anything that's sticking out, it could feel kind of sharp, so you want to make sure that you embed them a little bit into that, kind of like a pillowed into the Art Deco. And I realized we do a lot of designs like this on tips, and the tutorial is on a tip and it makes it look really easy to do. But then when you're really working with a client and you're working with a really tight cuticle area, what I recommend doing is using like a silicone tool. This way you can press back and kind of taper it back into the cuticle area so that it doesn't leave a really high catching point when it starts to grow out, and it'll allow you to get into that really tight space back there. Gave that a 30-second cure. I know I have to go back in with the top coat, so it will finish curing once it goes back into the lamp for the top coat cure. But as you can see, I'm just kind of using the top coat and kind of pressing it back into the stones a little bit. And this helps not only to make a good smooth transition between the stones and the top coat, but it also will cover any Art Deco that might not have been covered by a stone, because Art Deco will cure sticky, and we want to make sure that there's nothing sticky when they come out of the light. So it looks like I had a few pieces that came off, but I just kind of wiped them right off the nail. And then last, I'm going to take like a detail brush with a little bit of top coat on it, and I'm just going to go over any stones that I feel might be a little bit too rough. I know my clients don't like a ton of texture, so I tried to cover it a little bit, and this will also help protect your embellishment that you have on there. So I'm just kind of dotting it in between areas that I feel might be a little bit too sharp, and this will dull out the edges and also kind of give like a little bit more security. So once we're done with this, we're going to go in for our final cure, which is going to be a full 60-second cure. And while that's curing, we're also going to top coat our simple design here. And this was just the gold over the super polish, and we're just putting a no wipe top coat on there and giving that one a final cure of 60 seconds. Okay, so this is the design that has the opal crush down in a diagonal. We're going to take our Art Deco and again just kind of using the tip of it as a tool, and we're just going to place that Art Deco kind of where we want our opal crush to go. Next, we're going to scoop up our opal crush, and I do realize I forgot to wipe the tacky layer off this gel polish, so it's probably going to stick a little bit around where I don't want it to, but it's not really going to cure into place there, so when it comes out of the lamp, we will just have to dust it off. But we're going to go ahead and scoop on our opal crush. And I did this one a little bit different because I wanted my gold to make sure and go right up against the edges, so I'm going to do the gold afterwards. So we'll give it a little tap, and you can kind of see that it stuck a little bit on the green gel polish because it did have a little tacky layer on there, but once it comes out of the light, we can dust it off. Okay, so this is out of the lamp. We're going to give it a little dust, and I'll probably use my silicone tool to kind of get anything off that I don't want, but not too bad of a cleanup here. Okay, next we're going to grab our gold striper, and I'm just going to kind of outline and kind of squiggle the brush up to the opal crush to kind of give it a more squiggly look and to make sure it meets those gemstones really well. I don't want like a fine, perfect line. I want more of an irregular line. So again, we'll do that on the top as well. And you can kind of see the angle that I'm holding my brush. I'm just using the very tip of it, and I'm kind of pushing up against the crystal. And then same technique as we did earlier, and now we're just kind of pulling down and giving it that spiky look. And if you wanted to add some little drips on there too, you can just use the very tip of the brush, just kind of load it up with a little bit of the gold and give it a little drip. So we cured that for probably about 30 seconds, and now we're going to go in with the top coat. And again, we're going to take that brush from the top coat and kind of press it up into the stones and pull down. And I'm going to pretend this is actually on a nail instead of like flipping it around and making it really easy because it's on a tip, because that's what I want to do. But we're going to pretend this is on a real nail and we're working around a cuticle area. I would go in with my top coat just like I normally would, go down to the stones, and then I'm going to take my detailer brush again, kind of load it up with top coat. I really want to flip this tip around, but I'm not going to. And I'm just going to go in and really kind of blend that top coat up to the crystals. That way we're not over flooding it, but we're meeting right up to them. And we're going to make sure that we're down the edges really well. And again, I just can't help but flip it a little bit. But I mean, if we could only do this to our clients, right? Just kind of turn their finger 360. That would definitely solve some problems. Okay, anyway, I'm feeling some areas that are a little bit sharp. So I'm going to go in with that top coat and my detailer brush and kind of blend some of those out. And I don't, again, want to go in too heavy because I don't want to flood all of this embellishment. I want it to look textured, but I do just want to add a few little dots of top coat in there. So I'm going to show you another design, another great way to use this Opal Crush. And this tip, we've already put the Cypress gel polish on and we've already cured it. I have not wiped off any tacky layer, which I probably should have, but I can wipe it off afterwards. And we're just going and kind of tracing an oval shape in the center of the nail, and then we're going to cure this for about 30 seconds. Okay, so this is out of the lamp. I'm not going to forget this time. We're going to wipe off that tacky layer, and then we're going to go in with our Art Deco, and we're just going to put a nice size bead in the center and then kind of work it around the edges of the oval that we created. And now take your Opal Crush and pour that right on. And then we're going to use our finger again to press down and pillow it into that Art Deco. And then we'll also use our silicone tool just to clean it up around the edges and give it a nice clean oval shape. And give that a 30-second cure once you're happy with the placement. So when that comes out of the lamp, we're going to take our no wipe top coat and we're going to just go right over this stone. And I am putting a nice size dollop on there, and then I'll use my detail brush to just make sure that it evenly disperses. And then quickly get this into the lamp. You don't want any running. And just a quick flash cure is completely fine, 15 to 20 seconds. When that comes out, I am going to do another dollop of the no wipe top coat. If you guys are wondering, I am using Outshine for this. It is a really good consistency and doesn't really run or flood, and it will give me the height that I'm looking for here. And again, just putting a dollop on, and using gravity to kind of let itself level out and give me a good, nice, rounded stone on the top. Again, quickly get that into the lamp and cure this now for 30 seconds. Okay, so that has all cured. And next we're just going to take our gold striper again and do a little bit of detail around the stone that we created. I am going to add just a little bit of that spiky flare on the bottom just so it matches the rest of the set. And then I'll use a dotting tool to give me a little bit of texture around the edges. And we're going to go ahead and give that a cure for about 30 seconds. And then we're just taking top coat here and going over the entire nail, stone and all. And this will kind of encase everything and clean it up really well. All right, my nail peeps, these are the 4 designs that we just created. I hope y'all like the Opal Crush as much as I do. There is a white version coming out for the spring collection, so keep your eyes open for that. And thank y'all so much for watching, and we will see you next month.